Hello and welcome to day 267, Becoming Peace, Meditation and Inspiration. The name of today's session is Connection, Contribution, and Growth. Today, we're going to discover what we need to thrive. Thrive in life, thrive in existence, and thrive in joy. So let's begin. Let's start our session by preparing our body, mind, and heart. Find a comfortable seat and let's sit back and rest your eyes, taking several deep breaths, and begin to let go of all the tension and heaviness you carry with your physical and emotional bodies all day long. Take a few more deep breaths and let's remove any stressful thoughts or uncomfortable feelings or anxiousness. Set those down and take up an armful of peace. Wrap peace around your being. Cocoon yourself in love. Take another deep breath. How many people do you know who struggle with self-defeating thoughts? Who do you know who experiences anxiety or depression? How about suicidal thoughts, ideations, and wanting to take themselves to another realm because this one is just too darn painful? Maybe it's someone you love, or maybe it's you. How would you like to learn about a measuring stick you can use to help determine where you yourself might be, or someone you love, where they might be with regard to experiencing these types of thoughts and feelings? You know, usually there is a root or a root cause for why these thoughts and feelings bubble up inside of us. Over the years, I've had the opportunity to assess, diagnose, and treat all types of mental health issues. I found in the many people I've worked with, there seem to be three common denominators. In determining the cause of why they found themselves in crisis, let's take some time to process and meditate over some important questions. So here's yet another tool we're going to discover today. 3 golden questions you can ask yourself or apply to others, like your kids, your loved ones, your close relationships. I'm not suggesting you start diagnosing anyone. But what I am suggesting is that if you see someone sad, withdrawn, changes in their behavior, struggling with coping successfully, you might want to apply these 3 questions to determine what might be needed to turn things around. So here's the first question I'm inviting you to consider, and I'm going to give you a bit of time to process each one. Do I feel connected? Do I participate in close, loving, healthy interactions? And is there trust in the connections that I forge? Overall, do I feel like I belong and I have people I can talk to and turn to when I'm needing to feel like someone cares about me? And do I do the same for others? The second question to visit today: do I feel like I'm contributing? Am I participating in contribution in relationships, work, goals, dreams, and life in general? Am I being productive? Do I have a purpose? And am I fulfilling my own purposes and desires? The third question: am I growing? Am I expanding? Am I learning new things? Do I focus on increasing my knowledge, my mindset, and my skills? Am I improving my talents and abilities? Am I educating myself regularly and finding joy in learning new things? Let's come back now and wrap this up. Anytime I begin to spiral downward with emotions, feelings, and thoughts, I turn to these 3 questions. Do I feel connected? Am I contributing? And am I growing? Connection, contribution, and growth. If I'm struggling, it's usually because one of these areas is being ignored or put on a back burner. What happens next is I begin to feel sorry for myself. I hyper-focus on lack in my life, and I begin to question my personal worth, which then leads to a whole new slew of other degrading thoughts and actions. Recently, I had a friend tell me she didn't have a desire to live any longer. She was serious about carrying out suicide. She was checked into a facility which helps a person stabilize thoughts and actions. And I was stunned, to be honest. The gifts and talents and abilities this beautiful person possesses is nothing short of impressive. I thought to myself, what happened to this beautiful soul? Why would she think of taking herself off the planet? I'm sure many of us have at times had thoughts of not wanting to be here in the main pain any longer. Life happens, and things get messy down here. I've seen it all, and I've heard it all in therapy. There was no judgment towards this friend. However, I was very curious to see if any of the 3 questions we just talked about might apply. So I decided to ask the questions to myself on her behalf. Did she feel connected? I wondered if she felt like she was contributing. And did she feel like she was growing and expanding? After reviewing our past conversation, I realized in all 3 areas she was lacking. She struggled with connection to a spouse who's emotionally unavailable. She just retired and is stepping into a new scene of wondering what to do with her life next. And she also has slowed way down on taking in new information and expanding her mind. She's gone into somewhat of a depression with changes in her life as an empty nester and feeling a little lost with all the time she has on her hands. Wow, these 3 questions helped me to determine how to show up for her as a friend, how to nurture her and walk beside her in life. Sometimes that's all we need. Not someone to fix us, but just walk beside us, right? Doesn't everyone want to feel like they have someone who cares enough to ask us questions and listen? So moving forward, this recipe gives us some tools to maybe guide our friends to some much needed aha moments. Gentle suggestions for growth like, hey, do you want to take this stained glass course or class with me? For connection, maybe schedule a few lunches and fun activities so she has something social to look forward to. For contribution, maybe involve her in a cause or ask her about her goals to take interest in what she's working on. maybe suggest we go volunteer together at the homeless shelter or serve someone in some capacity. I hope this has been helpful and will become a main staple for you to determine where you are with your own well-being and use it to assess where your loved ones might be also. I have enjoyed being with you today, and I hope you choose to take in more light today than you did yesterday. I'll be back tomorrow, and I hope you will too. Bye for now.